All right, sixth graders, we are continuing along here in chapter 2. Our focus today is on adding and subtracting decimals. And one of the key things that I want you to notice is that part of your assignment, you're going to get problems that look just like this. They're going to already be written for you vertically, which is going up and down, and you will notice that on every single one of these, the place values are lined up, and you know that because the decimals are lined up. So when you write a problem vertically, it is very important to make sure the decimals are lined up. So here we have an addition problem, and as long as the decimals are lined up, we just add it like we normally would. We first look at, well, 7 plus 5. Well, 7 plus 5 is 12. So we're going to come down here and put the 2 down for the 12 and carry the 1. Then we're going to go 1 plus 3 plus 2. Well, 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. So I'm going to go ahead and put the 6 in. Then I'm going to take the decimal, and I'm going to drop that decimal. Then I'm going to go 7 plus 6. 7 plus 6 is 13. So I'm going to go ahead and put the 13. And a lot of times I like to cross off the 1 once I used it. I kind of missed that there. That's always a good idea, especially in multiplication, to make sure numbers don't get rewritten. But I get 13 and 62 hundredths. All right, now I'm just going to show you one thing that you can do if you're not familiar, and that is to use subtraction to check your addition. So in this case, I can take 13 and 62 hundredths, and if I subtract 6 and 25 hundredths, I should end up with 7 and 37 hundredths. Or I can take 13 and 62 hundredths, subtract 7 and 37 hundredths, and end up with 6 and 25 hundredths. So I'm just going to come over here. I'm going to take 13 and 62 hundredths, and we're going to subtract 6 and 25 hundredths. And if I have done this correctly, I should get 7 and 37 hundredths. Well, I can't do 2 minus 5, so I have to borrow from the 6. The 6 becomes a 5. The 2 becomes a 12. Then I do 12 minus 5, and well, 12 minus 5 is 7. Then I'm going to do 5 minus 2. 5 minus 2 is 3. I'm going to take the decimal, drop it down. Then I'm going to do 3 minus 6. I can't do that, so I'm going to borrow from the 1, make that a 0, make that 3 a 13. And that's just going to give me 13 minus 6. Well, 13 minus 6 is 7. I end up with 7 and 37 hundredths. 7 and 37 hundredths. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. All right, so that's just a way that you can check your addition work. The downside of that is if you do a subtraction wrong or something, then you've got a problem. You have to do everything right. So I'm not going to do that again. I'm not going to require you to do that on your assignment. It's just a way to check if you're not confident. But like we said, obviously that involves you having to do the subtraction correctly. All right, now you'll notice here in this one that sometimes the last numbers don't line up. Okay, the key though is the decimals lined up. The difference is this one has a 2 in the thousands place. This one does not have anything here. Remember with decimals, however, if I want to, I can add a 0 on to the end. It's not necessary to do that. I can just kind of think about that and do 2 plus 0, but some of you may benefit from going ahead and putting the 0. So my first step is 2 plus 0, and that's 2. Then I have 9 plus 3. Well, 9 plus 3 is 12, so I'm going to put the 2 down and carry the 1. Then it's going to give me 1 plus 6, and 1 plus 6 is 7. Then I'm going to do 7 plus 8, and 7 plus 8 is 15. So I'm going to put the 5 down and carry the 1. Drop the decimal down. I already used that one, so let's cross it off. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 7 is 11. Put the 1 down. Carry the 1. I used that one, so let's cross it off. That just leaves me with 1 plus 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 21 and 522 thousandths. And that's what I get. All right, let's check subtraction. And the first half of your assignment is going to be just this. 6th grade. It's going to be just some problems written, addition and subtraction vertically. You're going to have to go and add and subtract. So here's subtraction. Same thing. We're going to start with 8 minus 6. Well, 8 minus 6, we know that that is 2. Then I do 3 minus 9. Well, I can't do 3 minus 9. So I'm going to borrow from the 1. I'm going to make the 1 a 0. And I'm going to make the 3 a 13. That gives me 13 minus 9. Well, 13 minus 9 is 4. All right, so I'm going to put that there. Then I have 0 minus 7. Well, I can't do 0 minus 7. So I'm going to borrow from the 5. The 5 becomes a 4. The 0 becomes a 10. That leaves me with 10 minus 7. Well, 10 minus 7 is 3. We take the decimal, drop it down. That leaves me now with 4 minus 2. 4 minus 2 is 2. I end up with 2 and 342 thousandths. Now, I'm going to show you a way to check subtraction too. And it's this idea that this difference that we got, 2 and 342 thousandths, and to that we should add this number here that we're taking away, 2 and 796 thousandths, 2 and 796 thousandths, keeping the decimals lined up. We add those two numbers, and if we have done it correctly, we should get 5 and 138 thousandths. Well, 2 plus 6 is 8. 4 plus 9 is 13. Put the 3 down, carry the 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 7 is 11. Put the 1 down, carry the 1. Decimals, drop them straight down. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. I get 5 and 138 thousandths, which is a match to that. But once again, I will say 6th grade, I'm not requiring this. And if by chance you were to do something wrong in the addition, then you might think you did something wrong in the subtraction. So it's kind of a, you have to be confident that you're doing it right when you want to check it. All right, last one in this part. Now this one looks a little bit different because now I have more numbers sticking out here. And even though I'm pointing this out in the video, I've been teaching 5th and 6th grade math for a long time. I can predict that some of you are just going to take this 3 and put it down here. Your job, 6th grade, is to make sure that that is not you. Don't do that. Remember with decimals, when we subtract, up here, it wasn't necessary to put the 0 because we're just adding, and it's 2 plus 0. Here it's subtraction. It's not just taking the 3 and dropping it down. It's not 0 minus 3 is 3. What you want to do is you want to go ahead and add the 0, but you can't do 0 minus 3, so you have to borrow from the 4. The 4 becomes a 3, and the 0 becomes a 10. And it leaves you with 10 minus 3. Well, 10 minus 3 is 7. Now, I can't do 3 minus 9, so I have to borrow from that 3. That 3 becomes a 2. That 3 becomes a 13. Now I'm doing 13 minus 9. Well, 13 minus 9 is 4. So I'm going to go ahead and cross off that 13 because I've used it. Then it gives me 2 minus 6. Well, I can't do 2 minus 6, so I'm going to borrow from this 2. That 2 is going to become a 1. That 2 is going to become a 12. That leaves me with 12 minus 6. Well, 12 minus 6 is 6. Use that 12. Go ahead and cross it off. Drop my decimals straight down. I can't do 1 minus 7. So once again, I'm going to borrow from the 2. I'm going to make it a 1. I'm going to make that 1 an 11. That leaves me with 11 minus 7. 11 minus 7 is 4. And then I know that 1 minus 1 is 0. I can put a 0 there if I want to, but it's not necessary. 4 and 647 thousandths. All right, the last part of what we're doing today, the directions are going to tell you to rewrite each problem vertically, solve each problem. The problems are going to be written this way for you, what we call horizontally. And here we have an addition and one subtraction example that we will do. The first thing you want to do is write them vertically going up and down to look like what we just did. So all I'm going to do is rewrite the problem, 3 and 29 hundredths. And I'm going to add 6 and 831 thousandths. And the key, 6th grade, is to making sure the decimals are lined up. That really is the key, okay? So nothing in 1. I can put the 0 there if I want to. It's not necessary really though when we're adding, because nothing, we would just drop the 1. Nothing in 1 is 1. 9 plus 3 is 12. Put the 2 down. Carry the 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 8 is 11. Put the 1 down. Carry the 1. Take the decimal. Drop it straight down. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 6 is 10. 10 and 121 thousandths. Last one, 27 and 69 hundredths minus 8 and 324 thousandths. Once again, the key is going to be making sure the decimals are lined up. So it's going to be 27 and 69 thousandths minus 8 and 324 thousandths. So once again, remember, you're not just taking this 4 and dropping it down. You actually have to go ahead and put the 0 and think of it as borrowing from the 9. The 9 becomes an 8. The 0 becomes a 10. Leaves you with 10 minus 4, which is 6. Then I've got 8 minus 2. Well, 8 minus 2 is also 6. And then that gives me 6 minus 3. Well, 6 minus 3, I think is 3. Then I take my decimal, I drop it straight down. I can't do 7 minus 8, so I have to borrow from the 2, make it a 1, make the 7 a 17. That leaves me with 17 minus 8. Well, 17 minus 8 is 9. And I've got 1 minus nothing, which is 1. I get 19 and 366 thousandths. All right, 6th grade. So that's adding and subtracting decimals. We'll talk to you later. Bye.